Hi everyone, today I'm creating a series of cards using the Call Me Crafty SheetLoad of Card template from August 2024. There will be a link below on how you can get the SheetLoad, and there will also be a link to the other creators that are part of the creative team. There is also a playlist so you can just watch through all of the videos and check out all the different ways that we use the same sketch for a completely different result. What I've decided to do today is I have a pile of scrap pieces of coloured cardstock, and you can see those down the left-hand side in kind of the lilac, the teal, there's some brown and some navy. Each of those pieces has been run through my die cutting machine using a pierced cover plate die. The two that I've used I think are both from Honeybee Stamps, and I will put a link below to everything I've used today, so if you're looking for anything in particular, it'll make it a little easier for you to find. Basically, I went through and I cut those rectangles per the card sketch, and then I ran through this mismatched pile of paper rose papers that I have on the right hand side. These were from a Black Friday sale from a mega box that was just mixed paper, so I had no idea what I was going to get, and all of the pieces are from a whole ton of different collections from Paper Rose. What I've decided to do is use up some of my leftovers here to create a hodgepodge of different cards with different themes, different colours, and I just had one pile on the left and one on the right, and then as I went through each piece of paper from Paper Rose, I made sure that it would match with something on the left, and if it did, I chopped it down, and if it didn't, I just put it back onto the pile of the 6x6 papers that I would use for a different project. It was actually pretty impressive how many of the papers would match with either the lilac or the blue. So maybe when you're watching the video, have a think about which one's your favourite card and let me know in the comments below. The next step was to figure out a backing panel. And so for this, I actually grabbed all of my stash of 5 1/4 by 4 inch panels. I have them in different colors, just ready to go if I'm making cards. And if I put this as a matting layer behind the pattern paper, then I will still have a 1/4 inch white line around the outside of my card, which I really like because it makes the card design jump kind of off the card. I was running through and doing something a little strange considering the card sketch, but rather than cutting the piece of paper on the top on an angle and then putting a sentiment across it per the original sketch, I decided that I would cut down a 1/2 inch strip and attach it to either the top or the bottom, depending on how I ended up gluing all of these together, to create just a rectangle on the front so I could add some embellishment and some ephemera to create a scene. I've gone a little bit rogue this month and deviated from the sketch, but I was using up so many of my leftovers and so many of my scraps that this just felt like a great way to show that you can grab what you have on your desk and combine all of those colours together, hopefully without giving it too much thought. Now, some of these colours are incredibly bright, but because there is the layering of one paper on top of the other, it really mutes down those really, really bright colours. So if you're wanting to create a card that has a lot of bright colours and it's the style that you're looking for, then some of these papers would be perfect. For me, they were really, really bright, so I ended up putting the grey and the blue on the right-hand side over the top of some of the really, really bright rainbow-coloured papers, and it means I can create a card out of them that I will enjoy giving away or giving to somebody, to either a charity or using myself, and they don't get wasted and they don't sit in my stash forever. Even just looking at this here, 4 very, very different colour combinations, and it was really fun creating these cards using just a total mismatch this time. These ones here are a little bit more muted, and so you can see with the browns and then the scenes in the background. That was another thing that I found really interesting, is because a lot of the Paper Rose papers were like an outback scene or they were trees, I was trying to figure out how I was going to use those. And I think the one on the bottom left-hand side, that is, I think it's just a field of wheat. And so for me, I was like, what on earth am I going to do with that? But with this khaki color on top, you can see the texture of that pattern paper peeking out from around the edge, but I'm able to use it without trying to sort out what am I going to put on top of that type of design, because it doesn't really line up with the style of cards that I traditionally make. So this sketch was an excellent way to use up different color combinations of paper and maybe some of my not so favorite papers. So I would almost put some of this in the category of no paper is ugly, but there are papers that I probably wouldn't pick to craft with initially, and maybe that one on the top left-hand side is an example. I'm sorry, it's just not my favorite. If you're enjoying the video, it would be fantastic if you could hit the like button. That is how YouTube knows to share a video to more viewers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please consider subscribing and even hitting that notification bell so that you get a message every time I post a new video. Thank you so much in advance for that. Here I am finishing up the last of these panels, and I have a question for you. I'm wondering, what is the one thing in your craft room that you wish you could use up? Like literally take it and use every little piece so that there was nothing left. Is it a paper pad? Is it ephemera? Is it stickles? Is it glitter? Like anything that you have that you're thinking, I wish I could just finish this off. I've had it forever and I want to finish it off. You never know, it might just give me a really good idea for a future video. Now that I've finished off all the gluing and taping, etc., I'm now sorting through my big bag of die cuts that come from Paper Rose. I have used these in many videos before. They are part of a mystery box that I got as part of the Black Friday sales last year, and there is no end of different types of designs in these, and they were absolutely perfect for using when I'm sitting here trying to sort through lots of different pattern paper backgrounds with lots of different colors. And I was really surprised actually that I managed to design quite a few different styles of card. I thought they would all end up looking sort of at least a little bit similar given the stitched pierced background. There's some backgrounds that are great for people who love traveling and hiking. There's quite a lot of animals, a true mixture of cards in the end. I'm working through this pile of die cuts, and generally I try and use up one sheet completely if possible. It doesn't normally happen that way, but if I get down to the last 3 or 4 elements, I do try and finish it off, and I get great satisfaction of putting that scrap piece into the recycling. So I do try and work through, but it doesn't always work out, especially when I'm doing this type of project where it's a bit of a jumble and a bit of a mixture. It is the perfect opportunity though to use up spare sentiments. So on the right hand side, I've just lined up basically a whole ton of leftovers of different shapes and sizes. It means that when I'm designing the layouts of these cards, and you can see all the die cuts or ephemera pieces are completely different shapes. What that means is the space to put the sentiment is always going to be different as well. And sometimes a long rectangle will make sense. Sometimes one of these small little happy birthdays is just a perfect touch. But then sometimes you need something that's a little bit more bold and a little bit bigger. So I find that if I keep all of these, no matter how different they are, eventually I will actually find a card that they are perfect on. So you find that I don't really waste them. And I do make things in bulk, so generally like throughout different projects on my channel, you will see different sentiments, for example, that I use for a specific project will then pop up every now and then on a future project as I work through the spares. A good example is that HB to you or happy birthday to you. I would never have had a clue when I was going to be able to use that one. It's just not a style that I would normally use, and even the shape of it is really not conducive to a lot of the cards that I create. So on this one though, with this hiking pack and the map and the shoes, it fits perfectly in that spot. So I do have hope that I will find the perfect card for each sentiment eventually. I decided with this video that I was going to do something slightly different to what I have done with others, and I thought I would show you all of the cards that I made just as a couple of seconds for each one so that you can see them in a little bit more detail. I'm doing this instead of actually showing the gluing together because I figure, it's not that hard to glue the ephemera on top of these cards, and there's not too much more for me to say that's even interesting about what I've been doing today. So here we go. I'm going to run you through each of the cards that I created, and they are super cute. I really do like them. Which one is your favorite in the list? Do you like the watercolor ones perhaps, or maybe it's the ones that have the camping gear? There are a few with the flowers and they're a bit of a mix, but I really do like how they're all different colors on the background, and then we've been able to highlight those colors or make the most of them with the items that we have put on top. I'm not completely sure what all of the paper rose sets are that we've used today, but I will take a good look through their website, and where possible I will put a link to all of the different ephemera sets and the different paper packs. It will probably be a long list, and they will be in the description below if you are looking for them. I'm going to put a video here that I think you might enjoy, as well as a playlist to all of my paper rose videos. I hope you have a really great day. Bye!